Hey, how's it going, everybody? Charlie Wilson here, aka Sinister Charlie. Welcome back. We've got some more of the Fat Electrician. This time he's talking about the military officers that we all love so much. I was enlisted. I was in for 6 years. I made E5 in 5 years, so it's not terrible. I know people like who, you know. Were in for as long as me and made chief. They made E7 in like 5 to 6 years, which I don't think is healthy. I don't think that's good. Because they would get EPs all the time, early promotes, so they'd have to, they'd get all the points. Not to say that it's not earned, because it is. It's just I think maybe like you should be in for a little while longer before you start making chief and stuff. If you join at 19 and you make chief by the time you're 25, that's kind of weird. It's like, I don't think you have enough life experience. But that's just me. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about officers. Let's go ahead and like it. The only officer I really liked when I was in was a guy who was enlisted in the Marines before that. He did, I think, 5 years in the Marines, got out, and then went to college, got his engineering degree, and then came back in the Seabees as an officer. And he was really cool. I don't know where he is now. Actually, one more officer. What was his name? He's an admiral now. But back then he was an 05. But he's an admiral. I don't know what he is now, but last time I checked, he was an admiral. Edmonds. Or Edmund. Edmonds, I think, is what his name was. But he was in the CBs. He was a really good CB officer. Gave me a ride to work one day, which was kind of cool. I was just walking I didn't have a car at the time, but I was walking to the base, and he gave me a ride. Nice guy. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm sure he's got a lot of good things to say about you dirty, dirty officers.
We got a lot to cover today. I like to think I pick my words very carefully on this channel. That's why when I said there's no faster way to get unalived faster than fucking with Doc, I use the word faster. There's weirder and worse ways. Today, we're talking about military officers.
Right.
If you don't know, traditionally throughout history, it was frowned upon to target officers in combat.
Really?
This guy came along and pretty much exclusively targeted officers. After that, it was basically standard practice for everybody. But don't get me wrong, a grunt officer will usually fuck you up just as good as any of his grunts. He might be the only person that does more damage in his absence than in his presence.
Yeah.
In most militaries, when the officer's taken out, they will either surrender or fall into chaos because they don't have leadership and don't know what to do. The American military has a tendency to be what I like to call default aggressive, meaning that with a lack of instruction, they will just resort to destruction. Meaning they're just going to start handing out fucking ass whoopings to everybody. The minute LT goes down, those grunts are just going to look around like, so take out everybody? Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm. You see, the officer is probably the only guy on the battlefield that gives a shit about things like cost and excessive use of force. And
also officers really care about getting medals, so they might overextend and put you in a really bad situation where we didn't need to be. The same guy who was a Marine enlisted became an officer. We usually only ran night missions in Iraq, which is the safest way to do it. But we had just got done with a night mission, and then we got assigned a different mission to escort a different convoy through Ramadi at like 7 in the morning. And Ramadi at 7 in the morning is busy as shit, and there's like dudes with AKs and stuff, and they're not in uniform or anything, so you don't know if they're Iraqi police or not. So it was just not a good thing to put us through. Short mission, but it's just like, dude, why? We didn't need to do this. We just got done with a mission. So stuff like that, officers being overzealous gets people in trouble.
You just took him out, so that's not fucking good for you. What I'm trying to say is the grunts got techniques. They got shit you ain't never heard of. They got shit you're not going to be around to tell anybody else about. You're about to become past tense, it's just a matter of how. Don't get this twisted, you can still end up in the fucking dirt if the officer's still on the field. What I'm saying is the officer acts kind of like a regulator. Uncle Sam's condom, if you will. You see, when the officer goes down, it's kind of like rolling a 5 in the opening play of Candyland, where you get to hit the rainbow shortcut right here. Except instead of getting a head start in the game, we're just jumping straight to all the weird, irregular shit these grunts can come up with. You know, all the shit Geneva never thought of. But to find out the hard way, it's never a war crime the first time. I can't stress this enough, this is not synonymous to only grunts. For example, does anybody else remember a couple years ago when the United States Air Force decided that they needed to drop the Moab bomb?
Yes.
Moab being an acronym for Mother of All Bombs. The bomb that's 30 feet long and 22,000 pounds, 18,700 pounds of which was straight TNT. Bomb so fucking big, the only way they had to deliver it was by pushing it out the back hatch door of a fucking cargo plane.
It's a big bomb, I think is what he's trying to say.
And while I can't be sure, I'd be willing to bet my lunch money that the Air Force officer was out that day and some E4 got to make the call on
That's
what they were
pretty
dropping.
Cool.
When the grunts called for fire and reported that there was enemies on the mountain, E4 said something like, "Fuck that mountain. We'll just get rid of it." Delete. But wait, the Navy also does this shit. How about that time during World War II when the USS Texas flooded half of its hull to change the angle of its guns so that...
Yeah, I heard about that when I saw the USS Texas video. That was pretty sick, dude. It's like, damn, that's awesome.
That the rounds could reach further inland because fucking America. And all this is just if you take out the officer. Leave the guy in play and then the grunts have appropriate leadership. I really don't fucking know which is worse. Now, all that aside, officers still have a very, very important job.
Paperwork.
Leading the United States military. And while I've never done it, I have to assume it's like herding cats. If the cats were 185-pound athletes with drinking problems and machine guns. So, in conclusion, if you're an enemy of America, I really don't know what the fuck you should do about the officers because you're going to get fucked up either way. Thank you for watching this video.
Yeah,
I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to buy me a beer, there's a link to my beer fund in my bio. Thank you for your service. Holy.
Yeah, it's very succinct, very well put. I tend to agree with everything he said. Yeah, enlisted and officers, we'd never get along. It's never going to happen. That's why there's fraternization laws. Anyway. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe down below. I'll put the original video in the description so you can go check out his store and stuff, which I will be getting one of his shirts at the end of the month. I figure I owe him that much for all the content he's provided. Yeah, somebody told me that you can't get the rubber ducky anymore, and it's like, oh man, I kind of wanted that rubber ducky. So there you go. I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you got any comments, any suggestions, it doesn't have to be like a fat electrician video. It could be something else. So put it down below, and we'll get to it eventually. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed your weekend. Thank you for watching, and bye.